What's up, guys? Nightwolf here, and I bet you never thought that this would happen. I'm guessing that you read this title on this video and you said, What? What? Nightwolf? Actually reviewing a Marvel book that's current? And here's why I say that, because, as you guys know, for a long time I decided I didn't want to review Marvel books, or I didn't want to read Marvel comics for a long time for a lot of reasons, mainly the forced political agenda and a lot of the really bad writing and bad decision making at Marvel pretty much turned me off entirely. Now, I finally did cave and buy Amazing Spider-Man Renew Your Vows #1, because there were still a couple copies at my local shop, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to try to give this a shot. I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to try and be as fair as I can, even though I'm not entirely happy with Jerry Conway, because he kind of irked me that one time. I mean, I'm past it now. I hope that eventually he'll be past it and we can actually maybe talk and be civilized. So, I'm going to table that. That's not important. What is important is this book. And is it good? So, let's go over some of the stuff, the story. The story for this book isn't too bad. Now, the one thing I will say is that the story's pretty good. It's not the best. It's a decent kind of, setup for the whole, the Parker family. It's pretty darn good. It's a little charming. There's a few moments in it that make me go, "Oh, isn't that sweet?" Book mainly focuses on, well, at least the first few pages focus on Peter trying to fight Scorpion while he remembers what he needed to buy at the store. That was kind of nice. I kind of like that. Kind of harkened back to old Spider-Man. Daily issues and problems, remembering what to buy for groceries and worrying about the family and whatnot. Annie is kind of cute in the book. There's this whole section where they talk about family, or the family is talking about daily life. It's like a real back and forth between all three characters, but it doesn't really sound like they're all talking, but it felt more like they were all talking over each other. That's not it's entirely bad, because I would expect something like this if there was a family of maybe 5 or 6, maybe 4, but this is a family of 3, and you would think that people would get a chance to talk amongst themselves more evenly, but it isn't terrible. I kind of liked it. It was kind of nice because, Annie's talking about her pet turtle, Speedy, and it's kind of charming. I just noticed that there is a picture of the current Captain Marvel in this book. I did not see that when I initially ran through it. That's weird. I'm kind of holding the book and reviewing it as I go. And it talks about, later on we got Pete with J. Jonah Jameson talking about pictures. We have a really cool shot of Peter and the spider drone, or his spider drone by the name of Busby, which is kind of cool. I kind of like that. And then Mole Man attacks with his dinosaurs and other imps and whatnot. It's pretty awesome. There's lots of really cool action that I actually really enjoy. MJ steps in finally, and that's pretty cool. The one thing that kind of was a little bit weird was them talking about who should be protecting who in the family. And MJ saying that he's not a solo act anymore. And you haven't been since we were married. And I understand that. That's actually relatively true. I don't know. The dialogue for it felt a bit off, but it's not terrible. It's serviceable. I think I can get past it. And then there's a bunch of other... The fight with MJ and them, and then... Yeah, spoiler warning if you haven't read the book. This review does contain spoilers because... this book is at least 5 months old, so there's other people who've reviewed it. So, and Annie gets caught by Mole Man. it's kind of interesting. Now, I do have something that I need to talk about that bugs me about this particular issue is the $5 price tag, but it's not why it's $5, but the reason of the $5 is tagged on because there's 2 backups in this one issue. Because the main story is like about 20 pages long. And I think most comic books are about 23 to 24 pages. At least I believe that's what they are. Don't quote me on that. You can let me know if most books are like that. I might count some on my own. But yeah, the main story is like 20 pages. It's well over half the book, which is good. But there are two backup stories in the book. One is about MJ and Annie talking about the Regent tech and coming up with designs for their costumes and whatnot. And Rhino attacks, and then they get ice cream. This is really unnecessary. I really don't think this needs to be here. I really don't. I mean, it's cute, and I kind of like it, but I don't feel it's entirely necessary. Because the book could have just as easily ended with something else. Or this type of stuff could have been mentioned or brought up in the book itself in some way. But it's not overly important. Like, MJ kind of explains how she got the Regent tech. We already know how she got the Regent tech. If you read the Dan Slott Renew Your Vows book, you already know. So it is kind of inconsequential. The one little other side book, or the little extra book, or extra that was added in, The Earnest Adventures of Spider-Dad, I really actually am quite charmed by this little segment. I'm not gonna, like, go too in depth with it. Art style is very, very childlike, like or very comic book strip, you know, something you would see in a comic book strip, like back in the day. I do find that charming and endearing. It's a really cute story. I think that was kind of well worth just the whole book itself, in my opinion. Because the more I talk about the story, the more this little segment, the more I like it. Peter and Annie just hanging out, doing bonding and whatnot. It's really cute. And then dropping Annie off to play with Sandman and whatnot. It's really cute. I enjoyed it a lot more than the other backup story. I wish that something like this was more like something that you would find online, but still pretty cute, and I did enjoy it. Art in the book itself by, I think his name's Ryan Stegman. Yeah, Ryan Stegman. Art was pretty good for the main book, and the art for the other two were pretty good. My recommendation for this is, I don't know if you should buy this. It's pretty pricey. $5 is a lot just for one comic. And I really don't feel comfortable saying, yes, spend $5 on a comic book. $5 is a lot of money, and Marvel really needs to work on their price points because they're getting more and more out of hand. And considering it's a gamble, a comic book is always a gamble. You don't know whether you're going to love it or you hate it unless you read it ahead of time. So it's a real risk to expect everybody to pay such a high premium price for one book. Me personally, the two side stories could have been implemented some other way, not in a physical form, maybe digital. Those would have been nice little add-ons. You get a free digital book every time you buy a physical copy, so why not just add those in as a bonus incentive for buying a $4 comic book? I'm sure you can find a way to pay the creators and the artists that do these little segments and whatnot. I don't know. Me personally, I can't fully recommend the book. I say if you're a fan of Spider-Man when he has a family and whatnot, I say, yeah, you should probably pick it up if you haven't already. If you're like me and you're still not, and you're on the fence, I'd say wait maybe, and hopefully maybe your comic book shop will have a sale or something if they have any left in stock. Maybe wait for the trade and hope that the trade is reasonable. I just can't. I would say it's not a buy it, but it's a check it out. Maybe a friend has it, or maybe you can read it at your own comic shop or something. You should at least check it out to see what it's like. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this review of the amazing Spider-Man. Renew Your Vows. I like the book a little bit. I don't know when I will get another issue, because I'm not made of money, Marvel. But if you guys want me to talk more about this particular series and whatnot, let me know in the comment section. I might be able to. Maybe I'll wait till the first trade comes out and I'll pick it up and I'll let you know what I think about it as the first story as a whole. But until that time, leave me a like, shoot me a comment, and subscribe for more comic book related stuff. More fun and enjoyment that we have on a regular basis here on this channel. I do really enjoy all your guys' support. And do not forget to raise your nerd flags high, and I'll see you next time. Night Wolf's out.